All right, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. This is a video where we talk about Titans League Season 2. Some of you may have been following Silver. Silver was a knockout bracket, which players could fight to then join Gold. We're going to talk about Gold after Platinum, but Season 1 was hugely successful with Titans League. Season 2 is basically happening now, and for the next 6 or so weeks, we're going to have groups play out. There will be 2 players that are relegated down to Gold for the next season. There will be 1 player who stays alive and does not advance to any type of playoffs in Platinum for the next season. And then the top 3 in each group will move on to the final playoffs in Platinum and obviously return for Platinum the following year. If you followed the first season, it was really eventful. We had Winchester winning. It was one of the crazier finals you'll see. It might feel like forever ago now, but it was Winchester 4-3 over Veleza. But this is what we have with the groups, and the groups are all based on players' results in the first season, right? Winchester won his group, MBL had won his group, Hera had won his group, and then Viper had won his group. And that's how it was all situated here. And then obviously you had the promoted players as well. So Group A, we have Winchester, Nikov, Doubt, ACCM, Valis, and Running. Valis and Running were the 2 players who were promoted from Gold. Group B, we have MBL, Leary, Yo, Backed, Draken, Dark. Draken and Dark, 2 players promoted from Gold. Group C, we've got Hera, Jordan, Kapoch, Miguel, Ganji, and Kingston. Ganji and Kingston, obviously the 2 promoted from Gold. And then in Group D, we have the Viper, Veleza, Tato, Barles, Sato, and Sebastian, which, surprise, surprise, Sato and Sebastian were promoted from Gold. So they'll play each other once. They'll play everyone in the group once in best of 3s, and then that determines their position. So every single game matters. They obviously get prize pool per win, and then there's also prize for placements, which, if you care about that, there's a quick glimpse there. I was trying to think, is there a group of death here? Because in, I think, the first season, we felt like MBL's group was the group of death. And honestly, they're all super stacked. It's really hard for me to say that one group is like way stronger than the other, but if I had to lean towards one, I might maybe lean towards D. As you've got like Viper, Veleza, Tato, those 3 are insane. And then like Sato got promoted. Sato has been playing top 20 Age of Empires. Barles can do it on his day. Sebastian, obviously, like probably the player expected to drop out, but he's a young, motivated kid, and he's going to be up against Viper in the first round, so that should be fun. But to me, the groups look fairly even, which makes sense because it was all based on the results from the first season. So that's Platinum League. I'll be curious to hear people's thoughts. Tell me what you think. If there's going to be any surprises, like it's going to be a tough task for people like Draken, Dark, Ganji, Kingston, Valis, Running. It's going to be tough for these guys to somehow take the spot of one of the other big names. But I could see it. Like we could see crazy things. Like maybe like Backed, because Backed is basically coming out of retirement for this. Backed could maybe not be in the best of shape, and he could get relegated. Doubt, maybe he hasn't been the tip-top shape that he was in maybe a year ago. I mean, he's still Doubt. He's still incredible. But Valis is no slouch. Running is no slouch. Just there's a lot of things coming to mind. Like Miguel and Kapoch, could they be at risk against Ganji Kingston? Ganji dominated in Gold League. I think he won like 13 games. Again, they're play all 3s and every game matters. So I'll be keeping a close eye on it. All right, so we're going to move on to Gold now, and then I'll talk about a couple other things. I don't know if Gold's actually updated yet. Bear with me here, friends. Okay, Gold is updated. Perfect. Thank you, Liquipedia people. So for Gold, these are what the groups look like. Gold will pretty much be happening simultaneously to Platinum. Group A, we have Slam, Bad Boy, Freaking Andy, Daniel, Hart, and Whitecourt. This, without even looking at the other groups, I feel like is already the group of death. But let's keep reading. Group B, Classic Pro, Say My Name, Sobek, Rapard, Gabby, and Mihai. Obviously, guys, the players who have the red over them right now were the promoted players. Congratulations to them. I did cast every single one of those sets. Group C, Dogao, Song Song, Margugu, Nilly, Derp, Overtaken. Dang, these are some crazy groups. And then Group D, we have Dragonstar, Fat Dragon, Fire, Lix, Lan, and Samaro. And oh, God. That is also super strong. Like Land coming out of semi-retirement. He was top 10 before. Fire's been considered top 10 before. Bat Dragon's been considered top 10 before. Licks is Licks. All these groups are stacked. I mean, there's not a single group here that's really weak. It's not going to be easy any way you look at it. So that's what gold looks like. Now in golds, they will get win per game, which I believe is $20. They also then get placement prizes, though it's a lot less than platinum. And then the players who end up winning their group are going automatically into platinum. And then if you're in second place in a group, you will play third place from another group, and that will happen all the way through from group to D. So basically, we'll have best of fives to determine who the other promoted players are. Last year, if you remember, we had like a full-on, like tried to do quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, and all this stuff for gold. But we decided not to do like a full-on play out to a final. And instead, the players who win the group just get promoted to plat and get a little bit of a reward, obviously. And then the sets we will have after the groups is simply 2 versus 3, 3 versus 2, 2 versus 3, and see who joins the other spot. So basically, it'll be like a decider series. Winner gets promoted. Loser goes back to gold for the next season. That's how it works. But yeah, curious to hear what people's thoughts are. I actually forgot that some of the names that got promoted out from last season. Like, we've got some big names. Like, I think Slam Bad Boy, in theory, should be favorite to just get promoted again. But I mean, Daniel is insane. Hart is insane. Here, I think it's a little bit more clear cut. I feel like Classic Pro Say My Name are definitely more favored to get promoted than anything. But I think like Mihai has impressed me. Gabby's impressed me. Rapard, Sobek, they played really good the first season to stay alive. So it's a ruthless format, guys, but it's reoccurring, and I hope people are excited for it. So only other thing I'll mention, well, actually 2 more things to mention. I don't know if the map pool's here. Okay, so I'm going to make a separate video if I have time on the map pool, but we've kept some maps and we've brought in new ones. So it'll be a different experience this time around. So we've got Acropolis, Arabia, which we've tweaked, by the way. It's different than the first season's Arabia. Arena, 4 Lakes. Okay, it's not 4 Lakes, Liquipedia. It's Cross. Okay. Fortified Clearing. Also, there's no walls on the backside of Fortified Clearing, so it's the same version from the first season. Fortress. Oops. Ghost Lake. Kilimanjaro. Nomad, and then Scandinavia. Oh, excuse me. And then Shoals. And we if you watched Red Bull, Shoals was in Red Bull. We tweaked it a little bit, but still you've got like, it's a water map where you do have to focus on land on the sides. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in an RM start. So, those are the 11 maps. So we brought some back, obviously bringing back Fortified Clearing, Cross, Arena, Arabia, and then we mixed in the other maps. I think maybe we brought in 7 new ones and kept 4. So that's the plan. And then we'll take feedback from people, see what people like. And we obviously want to keep the map pool as balanced as possible for future seasons. And we want every season to be a little bit different. Now, the final thing I'll say on coverage here, this will be a bit different from what we did last year. Basically, last year, I did a lot with Rex. And the reason for that was because I wanted to make it as easy as possible for the first season to go well. What ended up happening was we had like super open streaming rules, and there's situations where like I couldn't cover stuff live, and then like 2 hours later, I'm covering stuff as Rex. And it was kind of weird because people were like, I already saw that, but then I wanted to be nice to the players and everyone else, blah, 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 blah. So, old T90 sacrificed a lot for the first season, but it's time to get mean. No, not exactly. So, for live games throughout the group stage, we have 3 days set for it, okay? And I know it's a bit weird, but it's going to add variety throughout the week. We got Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And the players, if they wish to stream it, whatever, they can. But they basically reserve slots to play the games. So there's 3 live sets that could happen Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I will always stream every one of those days. All those set days will be live. There will be other days where I will cast sets as Rex, but those games will always be games that were not seen live in any other way. AKA, like, if, like, Viper's playing against Kingston, for example, if they weren't on like a live day at a live time, I would cast that as Rex. Does that make sense? So Monday, Thursday, and Saturday won't be the only days that I'm covering Titans League, but those will be the live days. Anything out, any other time you're seeing something, it's going to be something that has never been seen by me or like admins or anybody else, so it's as good as live. So there's just like a lot more structure to it, which hopefully will lead to like less confusion and a little bit more togetherness and excitement, blah, blah, blah. And then the final thing I'll say is that I cannot cover every single game. I absolutely cannot. There's going to be so many sets. I think it's 12 sets in each league a week. And I'm committing to casting 9. I might end up doing 12 or something, but I think where I'm at right now is I will likely do some gold on top of platinum if I'm like, have the time. So gold, since it's happening simultaneously, is not going to get as much focus as platinum. But I would like to cast some gold as well this year, or at least more than I did last year, and I'll do my best. But that's the main thing. I put a lot of time and energy into my normal content. I put a crap ton of time and energy into making this happen. Shout out to JBR and Robo, who's helped with everything. But I aim to please. I won't be perfect. I really hope that this is a good season. And ultimately, I want this to build up to be a much bigger thing in the long term. So for any viewers out there who are watching and being interested and discussing the league format, thank you for appreciating the effort, and I hope it's a good time.